The show you're about to hear contains strong sexual adult content, situations, and other material you may find offensive. If you are under 18 or easily offended, please leave now. For everyone else, please stay tuned for Real Talk Lifestyle.
Hi, welcome to Real Talk. We're your hosts.
I'm Rob.
And I'm Sarah. Please join us as we discuss the swinging lifestyle.
Welcome to Real Talk Lifestyle. I am Rob, and I am joined with Sarah.
Hi, guys.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in and participating in the show today. Gotta tell you, so Saturday, the reality kind of hit in with me. So one of the hostesses we had a group that came in from Kansas City.
Right.
And the hostess brought them over and said, oh, they watched the podcast. They want to meet you guys. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I was kind of standing behind you, and you start talking to them, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I was waiting for you to introduce me to them, and you just kind of kept talking, and I was like, yep, there's my reality. So the whole conversation, I was just standing behind you, and I didn't get to say a word. I didn't even get introduced to them or nothing. So I was like, yep, you know what? You are the star of the show.
I never said that.
No, you don't have to. I know. So they want to meet you, which I can't say anything different. I'd want to meet you too. But I was just like, I kind of felt left out, and I was just standing there. I'm like, okay, so I know where this is going. So you're the star of the show, and I'm just a little sidekick guy.
No, I just don't like you. I didn't want to.
Yeah,
I didn't want people to know I was with you.
So, anyway, my feelings got a little hurt. I was
sorry.
left out of that. They're like, oh, they want to meet you, and it was like the whole time you were talking.
I'm sorry.
So it's like,
we have a problem with that a lot too, because I tend to.
You're like showboating.
I do.
Yeah, you're a showboater.
I do. This is going to my head, folks.
That's all right. I mean, it is what it is. You are the star, and I'm just a funny looking guy.
Oh, I know.
So yeah, frickin' diva. We want to thank everybody from SLS Radio for tuning in, and then all the other ones that are tuning in, and all our brand new subscribers we got this week. We're still growing, and it's exciting. I love getting those emails saying you got a new subscriber. Boom, boom, boom. So tonight we are up to almost 180 subscribers.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for subscribing.
So hopefully by the end of the week we'll be up to 200, and with iTunes and everything else, all the different formats we're on, we have people subscribing those ways, and they just catch the shows that way. So it's kind of cool. We're going to do something a little bit different today. I'm going to give out our phone number. So if anybody would like to call in and talk, we'll put you live on. The phone number is going to be 531-210-7285 for anybody that would like to call in and ask a question or anything like that. You can also type your questions in with the live chat, and we'll answer things that way as well. But we thought, okay, we'll try the phone thing and see how that works. But today we're going to talk about the behind the scenes of clubs. We're going to kind of go in depth with what we do behind the scenes. We're not going to take the cameras and walk through the club and all that stuff, or the venue, or any of that stuff. But we'll kind of explain to you what our day-to-day consists of. And then we're going to talk a little bit. I wanted to talk about, no, it is not answered 24 hours a day, Jim. It's only going to be answered during the show. But good question. I like where your head's at. But we do want to talk about, I have some friends that do podcasts, and they travel from club to club, and they actually will go behind the scenes, and they'll do live videos about the clubs. And we're in talks with them right now. We're trying to get them to come here to our place and do a video of our place, and I think we got it narrowed down to right after Sturgis. So I'm
Nice.
kind of excited for that. For any of those out there, if you want, you can check out Tom and Bunny on YouTube. They do a podcast show on there as well. And they kind of were talking about their last podcast was really informative for people. And it just said, is swinging expensive? And they kind of broke it down. And I'm not going to go in depth with a lot of stuff, but they had a lot of really good, valid points. They were talking about some of the clubs that you go to, you could pay a membership fee up to $100. Some of them are every 6 months that they charge. Some of them are like $1,500, they were saying, for the membership alone. So...
And not to mention they do have the conventions and events and stuff
Yeah,
that you have to...
but they were
go
specifically talking about, clubs and
Clubs
what
and
the
stuff.
memberships cost to
Right.
get in. My allergies are going nuts today, but...
The Flonase ain't kicking
Yeah.
in, huh?
So they're talking about, okay, great, you pay for your membership to these clubs, and then you have your little entry fee to get into them, which that's where your savings come in. But they were talking basically about, okay, so if you meet a couple online and you decide you're going to go out to dinner and talk with them to get to know them, you have to pay for that babysitter. You have to go and pay for that dinner, and then, oh, cool. That one's working. So you have to pay for that dinner. You have to pay for that babysitter. You're paying for drinks. And then if you do hit it off with that couple, you end up having to go and get a hotel room. And you're kind of, they were weighing out the pricing on that stuff. And then they were talking about that versus going to a club where you just pay this membership, and then it's good for 6 months to a year, and you're just paying a small entry fee to get in, and you have all the same amenities, except some of these places, these clubs have dinner and things like that. They have the buffets.
Yeah, we've seen some of the
Yeah.
pictures of those. They're really neat.
Yeah, and it's a great value. And then they got into talking about, so you get a babysitter and you decide you don't hit it off with that couple that you're at dinner with. Well, you're still out that money for paying for a babysitter. You're still out all the money for paying for the dinner and everything else. And you're out, on a connection with a couple, versus if you went to a club and you met that couple at a club, if it doesn't work out with that couple, you still have 60 to 100 other couples there that you can actually get up and say, you know what, I'm sorry, this isn't going to work, and you have the rest of the night to go around and talk and meet with other people.
That's true.
And so you're not really out anything that way.
Right.
And then they went as far as to say, if you sat up a meeting with a couple at dinner, you have to deal with the ones that decide not to show up.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're stood up, so you still end up paying for the babysitter and all that as well. And you got stood up for the night.
Yeah.
So,
and there are a lot of flakes that happen in lifestyle, and anybody who's been in it for a long time knows that that happens. And I don't want to be mean about it, but it does happen quite frequently.
Right.
And he's right. If you're sitting there and you paid for that sitter, and they don't show up, you're out the money for the sitter, and
Right.
then whatever drinks you've had while you were waiting, we ran up a tab. We sat for an hour and a half waiting for somebody to show up. So, yeah, it can be kind of expensive, especially when they don't show up.
Right. So, I mean, there are benefits to going to these lifestyle clubs. So that's just kind of some of it. Then we want to kind of get in and talk about what we do behind the scenes. We've also had people approach us and go, oh, I'd love to have a house party at my house. What's all involved? What all I need to do?
Well, we've had people that have come from other states around and said, there's nothing like this in our state. How do we start this
Right.
in our state? So we're going to kind of go over, if you think you'd want to put on one of
Right.
these or have one of these venues, we're going to tell you what it's all about, and the good, the bad, the ugly. We're gonna get into all of it with you, so you know
and we don't want
what you're getting into.
Yeah.
And we're not doing it because of competition by any means.
Right.
It's more or less, we really want you to get that information.
Yeah.
'Cause it
and we
it's not
don't
as easy as everyone thinks
Yeah.
it is.
And we don't want to discourage people from
No.
doing it. I mean, if that's really what you want to do. There is a lot of misconception behind opening up a club. A lot of people think, oh wow, there's a lot of people here, they must be making all kinds of money, and that's their first misconception right there. So for those that are, we'll talk about opening a club versus throwing a house party.
Right.
Opening a club takes a lot of money. It really does. You have to be smart in business, for one. Yeah. You have to hire a really good attorney. You want to have a really good First Amendment attorney on your retainer, and they need to know exactly what it is they're doing, and that is really expensive. That's a big cost right there, is having that attorney. Yeah. Just because the way the states are and all that,
That's the first advice we give you. If you're ever thinking to open a venue, the first thing before you ever would even go into any of it, check the laws in your state.
Right.
Find out if it's even possible, because to start up one of these clubs is going to cost you a lot of money to begin with. But if it comes down to the fact that your state or whatever city you're in has something on the books that makes whatever, a place like, our place illegal, you're out. If you don't check into that and you open a club, you're out a bunch of money because they'll shut you down.
Right.
So always check your state laws before you ever think of opening any kind of club like this, or
Yep. And then if there's other people operating places similar to yours, or
correct,
close, throwing the meet and greets, then you're going to have competition with them. They're going to do everything in their power to get you shut down.
Close you down.
They're going to spread all kinds of rumors. Believe me, we know firsthand.
Through all of that.
So you're going to deal with all that. Then you're going to get into, okay, I have to buy all these cleaning supplies. A lot of people think that opening a club, you basically go out and buy a bunch of beds and mattresses and throw them on the floor, and then you open up the door and you got your hand out going, hey, put the money in my hand. It's not that at all.
If you want people to keep coming to your club, you want to have a nice, classy, safe environment for them to come to. And you really have to put a lot of thought into the setup of your club. What works, what doesn't, what people really want. There's a lot to go in behind it.
Yeah, and then you are always going to have people telling you, oh, you should have this, you should get this, you should do this, know. So you're going to have people always approaching you, saying this, that, or the other, and you cannot make everybody happy. There's just no way. So then you start looking at your cleaning products, because you have to have that to clean the place. That gets expensive because you're buying it constantly. Then you have to buy your pops, your waters, all that stuff. Your furniture, your bedding. God, am I leaving anything out? No, I know.
Oh, and let's, before we get into all the expenses, the other thing that you need to look at is, we told you to look at your state laws, but location.
Yeah.
Location is so important. You cannot operate in most states anything that has to do with sexual activity or sexual nature in anything that's within a school or a church. Or your location is the uttermost importance of whether or not you're going to be able to sustain yourself in business and stay open.
That's why
otherwise they'll shut you down.
Yeah, that's why you'll find most lifestyle places
are out in the middle of nowhere.
They're in the middle of nowhere, or they're in heavy industrial areas, away from people. So I know a lot of cities I looked at, most of them are located in isolated areas. So big warehouses, things like that.
You don't want to be anywhere near residential, anywhere near schools. Whether it's against the law or not, your neighbors can make it total hell for you to even stay open. I mean, location is check your laws, and location is the second thing that we're going to tell you really need to look at. Yeah. Because that'll determine whether you're staying in business or you're not.
Right. Then you got to look at your laundry. You have to have a lot of sheets. Now this goes hand in hand with people throwing house parties as well.
Yeah.
Clubs versus house parties. Your laundry, you have to have a bunch of sheets, and they got to get changed every time they're used, because people are not going to want to go in somewhere and lay in dirty sheets, and I mean, it's one thing if we're together and we're laying in the wet spot because we made it, but the next couple going to use it's not going to want to lay in
our wet spot.
So you got your clean freaks, and that's great, but you have to be able to offer.
It's just hygiene too. I mean,
you have to be able to offer them clean sheets, and they're going to get rotated out a lot. So that's going to make your laundry go up, and especially if you don't have on-site facilities to wash those sheets, you have to send it out to a service.
Or do it yourself, like I did for the first 2 or 3 years. I spent every Thursday night 2 or 3 hours in laundromat washing.
Yep.
Bunch sheets, and it's embarrassing, folks, because I've had condoms and all sorts of stuff on my sheets.
You get little hidden presents.
When you're in public, you're looking down, going, "Gosh, I hope nobody caught that."
So you have that. You have the insurance.
Yep.
Then you have to make your monthly payment on the place.
On the building itself.
So everybody always thinks you're getting all this money coming in,
right?
But they don't see all the things that you're having to, all the expenses and the things that you have monthly. So if you have a party and it sucks that weekend and you just...
Your expenses are still coming.
You still have to make that rent payment. You still have to pay for all the stuff. You have your internet, your cable...
your lights, your electricity, your water, stuff. All of it has to be
if you
paid.
have a bad weekend, them bills are still going to come in and you still got to pay it regardless. Mm-hmm. So, that's why we kind of stress a lot, because there is a lot of times that
we've broken, maybe even under red, or
we don't. No, you don't break even.
You don't always break even.
You're always.
If we broke even, that's a good month.
I mean, believe me, I'd love to be able to quit and do this and not have to worry about doing anything else. But the reality in that, it's not even close. I mean, because right now I'm still paying out of pocket for what we're doing. And, like I said, you may have a great month, and then the next couple months might just totally stink. And you're like, oh my God, now I got to pay all this stuff. So it's great when you offset your costs with the people coming in, because you just take that money back and then you're paying for all the stuff, and then you're buying all the stuff for inside the place with that. But when you have bad months, doesn't matter, you still got to cover that regardless. So that's why we want to be honest with people and say, even with house parties, you may have a house party and you might invite, let's just say you might be able to accommodate 10 people in your house, maybe 15, depending on the size of your house. And you're like, okay, we're going to ask you to pay $20 per couple to come in, and that's going to help with the laundry and all that, and there's a lot of reasons why people don't do house parties every single week. It becomes a lot. You got to make sure your place is clean. You got to put your stuff away, because you don't want your stuff getting broken. You don't want things walking off from your house.
That's the other thing about house parties you got to think of too.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of things can happen when you have a party and people are drinking. Your stuff might get broken, and I mean, it does happen. So, that's the other thing you have to consider if you want to throw an event at your house. Be prepared that something might get broken, or you might have to replace something because somebody broke it.
And it's time consuming. It really is. And same with having a club. Things get broken. You're replacing things constantly, because you've got not glass tables like this one in front of me, but you have like your wooden tables, and you have people that don't even think second thought about it. They put their feet up on it. And then all of a sudden, hey, guess what? That cable's broken now. Well, there's another $40-$50. You got to go buy another table. I don't know how many tables we've already replaced in the last couple of years.
And not to mention, I mean, one of the worst, I think one expenses that really, we didn't even think it was going to be that bad. We had mirrors all over this place, at least on the dance floor. And we had a mirror, and somebody somehow grabbed a hold of the mirror. They were drinking, and the mirror crashed to the floor. So, we were upset about it. But then when we took it down to get new glass put in the mirror, or get the mirror fixed, it was like $120 for a mirror, that we just really didn't think it was going to be that expensive. So be prepared. That's the other thing. Be prepared for unexpected costs because it's going to come up and it's going to happen.
Good thing on that too. Like so today, find out that our pop machine. We have a industrial pop machine,
kind of cooler,
and that's where we keep the pop in the water. Well, all of a sudden today, the thing starts blowing hot, and the temperature gauge jumps over to 80, and so we got to have that looked at now. We don't know if the compressor's shot on it. So I was down. I just got in the shower and just got out. But was sitting there messing with that, and I can't get the compressor to kick on. So now I got to have somebody come and look at that. We just had that looked at last year, and that got worked on, and it was right around $800 for that. So there's your unexpected cost right there.
Yeah.
And they do come up a lot. But like I said, with your house parties, you're gonna have things get broken. You're gonna have things walk off every once in a while.
Things that you put down that you think are, you're trying to be a pleasant hostess.
Yeah.
You're trying to provide stuff for your guests. Little things that you'd never think of, like we provide lube and stuff like that. Or during Halloween we filled up a big bowl
of condoms.
By the end of the night, I swear to God, and it was completely full. The whole entire bowl was gone, and it was just fine. But when you see people stuffing 6 or 7 of them in their pocket, or I used to put little trial sizes of lube in the rooms. Well, I quit doing that because they would walk off, or we would buy big bottles and they would walk off. So you got to understand that kind of stuff too. That things that you didn't think would walk off, or tend to leave. I think the biggest thing we had walk off is we had a fire pit walk off.
Oh yeah, we.
Somebody broke into our outdoor area and stole a fire pit, so they literally tore the fence down.
Yeah.
And somehow got it out.
They dragged it out.
They dragged it out, and this thing is not. It is not light. It is one of those big.
I know who that was. So,
this here, no. But I mean, stuff like this happened. We've had our outdoor tent blow away. We had a really bad storm, and it blew away. And those expenses right there, what we're talking about, unexpected expenses and expensive ones at that. So things like that do occur. So be prepared for that. If you want to open a place where you're at, be prepared for all the expenses you're going to incur. And let me also go into not just the expenses, but your time. And here's what I'm going to say about your time. Even with your house parties, folks, if you want to do an event at your home, or or you want to open a club, you want to do these theme parties. First of all, we plan our theme parties a month, almost 2 months in advance. We have to go through and talk and find out which events work. And it's really trial and error. Some events work great, some don't, some bomb. Yeah. So we have to sit down a couple months in advance and go, okay, which parties do we want to do? Which ones are working and which ones aren't? Not to mention, if it's a party we have to decorate for, that's the other thing. You gotta get those decorations, and it's gonna take you have to plan and have those decorations up ahead of time. If you want to do a theme party at one of your for your house party, you gotta understand that you're gonna be paying for decorations as well.
Yep. And that's not cheap either.
It's not cheap. We have spent on some of our theme parties up to $300 on decorations alone. Sometimes even more. New Year's we spend. I know we spend.
Oh yeah, easy. And then when you cater food,
$600 or $700. Yes.
Or if you're cooking food yourself, if you're either catering it or cooking it yourself, you have expenses there because, like I said, to throw parties, you want to give the people coming some bang for their buck. They want to know that they're going to have a good time and they're getting something out of it for the night. Like I said, you just can't.
Special night.
You just can't throw mattresses on the floor and say, "Hey, come on over and I'll put this on my hand." It don't work that way. I mean, there's got to be value in it for them.
And we don't do food every time we do a party, but the really big ones we do food for, and you have those and your expenses are shooting up. And I'll be honest, if you want to do the house parties, every house party I've ever been to, they've provided snacks, meat and cheese trays, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And those meat and cheese trays, I know if you have Super Bowl parties at your house, they're not cheap.
Yep.
So you might charge somebody for a house party to come in, like you said, $20 to help cover expenses. Well, $20 might cover maybe one of those trays, but also you have to figure you're gonna have to buy pops and waters because not everybody drinks.
Right.
So to be a really good hostess, you're gonna want to provide that for your guests. If you're throwing the party at your house, by all means, you should make sure that the people that, because most of these parties are BYOB, bring your own. Mm. But you also want to make sure that a lot of, maybe your guest doesn't drink. So you do want to provide drinks and stuff for them as well.
See, a lot of people they don't think about things like that. They're just like, oh my God, let's go here. We're going to enjoy the night. And, it's never a second afterthought. But yeah, it's like the comments that are coming in right now. One of them says, oh my God, that's insane. Another one says, oh my God, the cost to run a place is way more than I thought. See, people don't think about things like this. But it's really true. No, we do not provide Wi-Fi, unfortunately. But yeah, the cost to do it, like I said, people when they go out, it's not even a thought to them. They just go, they have their drinks, they meet people, they have their fun, and then they're out the door and they know, okay, this is a great place to go. But a lot of people don't think about, it's going to cost this.
What happens after they leave?
Yeah, and then that's another thing. So, I mean, in between the time that it takes for the marketing, the advertising that you do, the cleaning.
That's your. Why don't you tell them in a given week what you do?
Well, so like
exactly behind the scenes.
So, like I said, we do plan the parties out ahead of time because we want to pick the best parties that we know we're going to have a lot of people come to. Because you don't want people to come and go, oh, there's nobody here, and they're going to, let's say, that sucks. No, we're not going to have a good time. Right. So when you try these parties out and the themes, you got to think, okay, if I do this theme here, are all these people going to have to go out and buy costumes? Are they going to have to go and buy outfits, things like that? So there again, they're having more cost involved because they have to go get stuff. So we try to run parties and themes that, are easy, like little black dress, schoolgirl, gods and goddesses, parties like that. Because, I mean, it's easy. Toga party. You go out and you get a sheet from the thrift store, or you get one from your house and throw it on. It's not causing a lot of stress on the people coming to the parties because it's easy for them to do. But when you start getting into your costume parties and things like that, where you have your formal balls and dances and they have to go out and get a tux and things like that,
right. And for like me personally, I'll be honest, I have spent hundreds of dollars on outfits so I can, because
we got to make sure you look good.
But as a hostess, you're throwing the party, so you really should dress the theme. And I've spent hundreds of dollars on outfits that I've maybe worn once or twice for a theme party. So we have, I have the expenses for my outfits and stuff like that, but then, hoping that I'll get the outfit in on time. So I have to plan those ahead as well to make sure that, if I do order a costume or whatever, it's going to be there on time when it's supposed to be. And like you said, we're talking planning, and it takes a lot to plan this stuff, but it takes a lot of time to send out the invitations, to get your RSVPs in. So that is something that he does, because I've told everybody this before. I am so technologically challenged that I don't handle the emails. I don't do anything like that. All the phone work, all the advertising, and all of that is done by him.
And that's very time consuming because, believe it or not, I got a phone on me at all times because I've got emails coming in all the time. And
at all hours.
So I'm having to stop what I'm doing so I can respond to that. And then when you're already involved in that party going on that night, you still have people calling or emailing going, hey, I just found out, can I come to this? And then you have to stop what you're doing in the middle of a party and run over and answer that email and say, I'm sorry, you should have got in before. I can't get you screened. I can't, do all this to get you in right now. You're going to have to wait till the next party. That's why we always stress any place you go to, give them advance notice that you want to go. Go through all the stuff that you have to go through to be able to attend that party. Don't wait. If you know that place opens at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, don't wait until 10:30, 11 and say, hey, what do I got to do to be able to come?
Or or how many people he'll answer. It says email if you want to come here. Well, they'll call the phone number and ask the same questions
Yeah.
that they could get the information from the website, say, or
right.
because everything explained on how to get in, and
Yeah.
so he answers those questions too. And it's a constant copying and pasting. He can spend hours on just emails and stuff alone, and then we also have to recycle things in the club, come up with new ideas for the club, because it can't be the same
Right.
thing all the time.
So one of the questions was, how many people don't take the time and read the website? I could say,
there you go.
I can tell you, it's probably 25% that don't read the entire stuff. Your adult websites that we're on, I mean, mainly it's the single guys that do this. They'll see a picture and think, oh, okay, it's a couple, I want to hook up with them. Then they don't read and bother to go, oh, wow, it's a venue. Or they'll go, how much does it cost to go there? What's the donation? What do I need to do to be able to come? They don't read any of that, and it's right there in black and white, written out. Or they'll call and say, hey, how do I get in?
They call all the time.
And I'm like, did you read the website? Well, yeah. No, you didn't, because
why are you calling me?
It's right there, And now I'm stopping because I'm trying to talk to somebody brand new and give them a tour or answer questions for them, and then somebody's calling in and wasting our time because they didn't read the stuff. I mean, it's there for a reason, and it's not like we're trying to whine and say this or be mean to people, but we spend the time and the money to have the websites and the things like that to give you the information, so you have it right there, and if you read it, it tells you step by step what you need to do. And if you just follow that, the whole process is quick and simple, and you can get everything done right away. But when it's kind of embarrassing to me when I'm sitting there talking to a couple and the phone rings and I got to say, excuse me, and I got to stop to answer a phone call.
I think most understand, though.
Well, they do, but I shouldn't have to do it. That's the thing. I mean, it's written out black and white for you right there. So, and then, your marketing, so with the parties and things that we plan, we have to, you got to get your promotion pictures and everything ready for that. You got to think about, okay, how am I going to market this party? What am I going to say to describe it? What's going to be appealing so the people reading it go, I want to go to that.
Yeah.
So that all plays into it. It's not like, hey, having a party, this is it, come. You gotta be wordy, you gotta be edgy. It's no different than advertising for pop or anything else. Yeah. You gotta get something that grabs everybody's attention, and the ones that come to party where we are, they know that we bust our asses to give them a clean place, and I mean, cleaning is no joke. In between our party days, we close on Friday night to have the party on Saturday. We're right back up Saturday morning to clean. During the week,
you have to clean the place up in between parties, and that's the other thing they don't think when they leave. We're cleaning up.
That's a big one.
And beers, and it's no different than when a bar closes. We're cleaning up cups and bottles and that's, things that get spilled, and
and that's the thing too. We have signs up. Hey, clean up your tables when you're done. Throw your trash away. Throw your empty bottles away. Don't leave your shot glasses there. And believe it or not, hey, we'll see you guys. Thanks for a great party. And they'll walk out the door, and you'll look over the table, and I mean, it's just full of cups and shot glasses and trash. You'll have candles out on the tables. They'll play in the candles. They'll get wax on the table. I've seen them take the wax on their finger and draw on the table, and then you're sitting there the next morning cleaning all this stuff off. It's common courtesy. Keep your area clean. It's like work. Yeah. It's like your workspace. Keep your workspace clean, and leave it the way you find it, because we certainly would never leave all this stuff in there at the beginning of the night.
Go to your house and do that to you. Yeah.
So we want people just to be it's courteous and consciousness. A lot of people don't think about it. They're just like, oh, I had a great time, we're gonna go now. And you guys clean our mess up. We'll see you later. But
and this is not. No, we didn't have a bad weekend, and we're just venting. We just want people to know what you do go through.
Yeah, and I mean this is something we've been wanting to do for a while. And we've
had people want to open their own, and I'm like, you have no idea.
I highly recommend you do a party or two.
Yeah, see if you like the parties first.
There's really a reason people don't do these all the time. It does, and even on a house party level, and just small, having 5 or 10 people at your place, the amount of work that it takes to
clean your house, do the shopping for your party.
Yeah, because you don't want to have somebody come over to your house and go, "Oh, Ed, there's a dirty pair of underwear behind the couch over there, and there's a shit stain in it or something." You don't want people seeing stuff like that.
It sounds like there's a donation price for all the work. You know what?
We've actually had people say that. You should be charging a lot more donation wise. Yeah. But that's the thing. We want to make it obtainable for everybody to go to these places, and we want to have a safe place for everybody to go. We don't want it to be so much that everybody can't go to these.
Can't afford to go.
Because you have daycare, babysitters, you have rent, you have house payments, car payments. So I mean, believe me, I wish we could, raise it up, but for right now, it's not really about that. We do this, like I said, because we enjoy people coming in, having a good time. We enjoy meeting people, and occasionally we make a connection with another couple, and we're like, man, they're awesome. I want to play with them. I want to spend time with them.
There you go, folks. And yes, he just hit on a point. Okay, house party people, here's what I'm telling you. He just hit on a point. Here's the deal with your house parties. They're great, they're fun, but you now turn into from party mode to being hosts and hostesses. Here's the key.
Ask me how many times I played in the last year.
Here's the key to your house party. You don't really get to play, people, because you really do have to watch what's going on at your party. And to be a proper host and hostess, you really, if it's in your home, you still have to make sure that everything is running smoothly.
Because you might have a couple couples come in and
want to play with you, and you're like, can't get away right now.
Yeah, and you might have one guy that doesn't like another guy there, and guess what? They start a fight. Now issues. You're playing bouncer.
Yeah, you have issues, and remember, people, it's in your home. So that's the other issues that you have to deal with. The host, and I was going to hit on that too. Yeah. You go from the party mode, and it's fun. And I'll be honest with you folks, if you do want to do a house party, start out small. Start out with people you know. Also, if you do these house parties, don't be surprised on the people that RSVP you and say, hey, we're going to show up to your party.
And then they don't.
So you bought all this food for these people that said they were going to attend your house party and didn't show up. So there's your other thing that you really got to realize is people might have the greatest intentions. Doesn't mean they show up.
My stomach hurt. I ended up not making it. I'm sorry. Or
my wife just came home from vacation, but I'm going to tell you it's this and that. That happens also. You're going to have to remember that people you think are going to show up don't. The other thing is everybody, if you're in a neighborhood, has a nosy neighbor.
Yep.
And so that's the other thing. If you want to do these parties at your house, you have to be conscious and go, gosh, what is going to happen if Edith over there sees 20 cars parked in front of our house?
Yeah. Or,
you don't want to be the toxic neighborhood, or you don't want that nosy neighbor maybe even somewhat figuring out what's going on.
Or they hear noises coming out through the windows of somebody moaning, and they're like, wait a minute.
Too loud in your backyard,
don't get me started on hot tubs and all that stuff.
Hot tubs, yes. And then we've been to house parties that have that too, and people drink and get loud, and then you have neighbor complaints. So just keep this in mind if you want to do your house parties. They can be fun, but I've noticed that some of the better ones are the ones where they have a smaller group of people that are more intimate.
And there's one I want to bring up too, is like, so I just replaced a couch.
Yes.
So $1,600 couch I just had to replace, and there was nothing wrong with the last couch, and the other couch was only 2 years old, and that was about a $1,600 couch. And the reason we stress for people to not do things on the couch is because you don't have your heels on.
I don't have my heels on.
Females, they wear these long stiletto style heels.
They lay back.
Then
on
they
your
get
couch.
on the couches, and guess what happens?
They rip holes.
They
in the
rip
couch with
holes
the heels,
because the heel is just going like that into
digging
a couch.
into the couch. Yeah.
So my last couch I just had got heel cuts
that
in
was
it.
after a Halloween
Yeah.
party. Yeah.
So I had to replace that couch because you can't have a couch with a bunch of rips in it and say, hey, come on over, because then it looks crappy.
Remember about your furniture's, everything gets spilled.
Oh, and that's another thing.
The spills.
I was going to say your odors. So if you have fabric furniture, like cloth, and you have somebody sit on your couch and they're naked, well, guess what? You might have some unpleasant odors later on because, things get musty after a while. That's the best way to say it. You might be sitting down on your couch and it smells like butt. That's just the truth in it. That's why I have leather furniture.
That's why we have leather furniture.
It's
so we can
easy to wipe it down
and
sanitize it and keep it clean. But so there's more expense there. Your furniture can get ruined. Your beds can break. The frames can break. So you have that.
Yeah.
And then for like us, we have volunteers that help us out with a lot of stuff, and we have quite a few of them now. So they have little assigned things they help us out with, like walking through to empty trash, stock the pop, greeting people, talking to them.
Again, volunteers.
Yeah.
They do not get paid.
But they, and then there's that there. We try to say thank you by giving them gift cards to restaurants and things like that. And, they get to come and, have fun as well. But, they're putting their lives on hold and doing a lot too. So, and we couldn't do this without them.
I have to address some of our comments. Thank you all. I know a lot of you who know us personally know we do bust our ass, and they are always appreciative. So, we know that you guys know that it's not always easy, and that you do appreciate us on what we do. Oh, they want you to break up the toy.
No toy.
No, I'm not doing the toy again. But yeah, and we do appreciate all of our staff, and we do appreciate the people that know what we do and appreciate it.
Yeah.
The other thing, time wise, we put our life on hold a lot of times.
I haven't had a weekend off all year.
No.
Well, now a couple years now. I mean, because this does take up a lot of my time, and
you don't have a personal life.
Yeah, I mean, so we're trying to do more things during the week, where we do little things, but this does take up your weekends, and it takes up some of your time during the week as well. So again, for me, it is a passion because
it has to be.
It has to be, and if it's not a passion for you, you certainly wouldn't want to keep doing this, because then you get miserable. And there's times that me and her,
we
have
get burned out.
Well, we argue a little bit back and forth, because I know there's times you're just like, okay, I need a break, and I get that, because it does take a lot, and I rely heavily on Sarah with a lot, and she relies on me to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of times that, again, I'm off doing the marketing,
which I don't know anything about. And there was one time he had to do something for his work, and he said, I can't get out of this. It was a Saturday night.
Yeah.
I had to try and open the entire
It's not easy, is it?
I panicked. I couldn't figure out how to get the music on.
Well, that's another thing.
Luckily, I got it to where it would stream a little bit, and luckily he showed up a couple hours later. I was able to make it through the 2 hours, but I'm like, I had no clue on how to do any of the stuff he does. He doesn't do any of the stuff that I do. So, it was I'm in panic mode, because I'm just like, I have no clue what to do, and things like that have come up where we just we get in panic mode, or personal stuff will come up. I've, like a couple weeks ago, I had to leave, and I think he was just like, he had to do everything that I did. So I don't. Yeah. And it's tough to figure it out because we do.
And it is.
Things.
I mean, because she has her specialties on what she does.
Right.
And there's a lot of stuff she does that I don't want to have to do, and I'm sure there's
clean toilets,
and I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that I do that you don't want to do.
There's a lot of
but there's just so much involved in this where a lot of people just don't think about it. We've been to house parties before on the other end. We've been to clubs as well,
yeah.
So we know. What it's like, and we've seen both sides of it. And I'll tell you, a lot of times it's a lot more fun just showing up somewhere and letting them do all the work versus now we're doing it all the time, because I mean it's night and day. Because you get in that, oh man, I'd love to do that. There's nothing to this, and then you start doing it, and I tell you.
Well, we have friends that actually used to throw their own parties and used to run their, not a necessary venue, but they would throw big parties.
Big meet and greet parties, yeah.
And
I mean
parties,
big ones.
Huge meet and greets at hotels.
And what did they just tell us?
They said we can't do it anymore. We're too old for this stuff. We're burned out.
And you don't make the money that
you don't make the money you think you're going to make.
Yeah.
And they were burned out. They're like, we just don't want to do it anymore. They like, now we just want to sit back and attend parties and
have fun.
Have fun and not have to do it anymore.
Now, if I ever hit the lottery, damn right. I'm putting everybody on staff, and they're getting a paycheck, and we're going to sit back and we're going to party.
Yeah. It hasn't happened yet, folks, but and like I said, everyone always thinks it's fun, and it's. We just want to let you know what all goes on behind, the house parties.
It becomes work, and a lot of work.
A lot of work.
You really think that, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to meet a lot of couples.
We thought that too, man. We're going
to be in the bedroom. We're going to be hooking up with all these people. Yeah, you're going to be hooking up. And my time is like, shit, if I'm in a bedroom and something happens, guess what? I have to be out there to make sure something doesn't happen. Yeah. Excuse me. But no, it's not. You're getting a hookup. I mean, a bad party host will go in the bedroom all the time and be like, I'm gonna go have fun. Fuck y'all.
I was a house party where we attended one, and the host actually got into an argument. We were all there, and I'm like sitting there going, this is a great house party. Yeah. So you always have to, if you're the host or hostess, you always have to watch your actions and stuff like that. Yeah. Nobody's going to want to attend your house party if you're the jerks.
And then you got to remember too, whether it's your house party or at a club and you're running it, you tell them, hey, we're going to have a party from this time to this time. Well, you know what? You're stuck there until they leave. Yeah. So if you're having a bad night, oh well, they're there, because if you say, all right, you guys got to go, then they're going to get mad and they're never going to want to come back again either.
Well, and we've opened where we've had the flu. We've opened where we're exhausted, or it doesn't really matter. I mean, and it's the same with if you say you're going to do something, you got to do it, and you just can't close when you don't feel like it.
But the great part of it is meeting the people. You get to meet fabulous. So many great people
from so many different states. That's the fun part.
Well, and and then they come back, and you're like, oh my God, hey, how are you? And they remember you by your name, and you remember them. To me, that's what makes it all worthwhile. Or even seeing the same people every weekend. And they come in and they're like, oh my God, and they come up and give you a hug. I mean,
and you get to know them on a personal level too, not just not just that they're guests at your club anymore. You really start to become friends with these people, and it's fabulous.
Great. Yeah,
we have a huge circle of friends that because of this club.
And then you start planning things during the week with them. Yeah, and that's why I say most of our friends are in the lifestyle. It's not outside of the lifestyle. I was gonna say. So it's like we might get together and go have wings or something during the week, or at least we try to anyway.
But if you do have vanilla friends, I'll be honest with you, they go to the wayside too, and that's exactly what happened with us. our times were so consumed with the club, and we couldn't tell our vanilla friends about it.
Yeah, you can only make up so many excuses what you had to do that weekend.
Why you had to do that weekend, and so we just finally, all of our vanilla friends kind of just fell to the wayside because we just couldn't. So remember, you're not giving up just your time, but you might also be giving up some of your friends because they won't understand what you're doing.
So one of the questions is, do people stay late when you have to keep telling them you're closed now?
Please leave.
Yes, that has happened before. You're in the whole mindset of, okay, that party end time has came, and you're trying to
clean up and get everything done.
Say okay, thanks, and then you have people
tired.
that want to stand there and talk, which sometimes it's fine, and there's times we've went and stayed later, but
New Year's Eve we made more of an exception.
Yeah, but that does happen every once in a while, and you're like, okay, I gotta hurry up and get this clean because I gotta come back in the morning and redo everything. And
you try and figure out a way of getting
being
them,
nice and polite about it.
Getting them out politely, without saying, all right, that's it, get the hell out. We're done. We're tired. We're close. Get out. So you do have to deal with tact, and you have to figure out a way of getting them to leave.
Yeah, because you don't want to offend people either. And like I said,
your business
to them. No. So I knew that comment was going to come up. You're not guilty. It's fine. If we didn't want to talk to you, believe me, we'd be saying, okay, you got to go. You got to go. Sometimes that's the only time we can really catch people to even talk to them is on the way out at the end of the night.
That's true. Yeah.
So. Don't take it personally. Like I said, sometimes you're not consciously thinking about things because you get caught up in the moment and you're talking to that person you haven't seen them all night because they're running around doing stuff.
Or if it's a huge party, we're running our butts off doing tours, and we do have old friends, and we don't. If the party is huge, we may not get to stop at their table and talk to them because we're with all the new people. We're trying to make other people feel welcome and. Yeah. So I mean,
and it's just like, we've reached a whole thing and we don't want clicks here and we don't allow clicks. It becomes an after conscious thought about, you have a group of friends that come in that all know each other, and then they slide tables together real quick, and they don't think about it consciously, but when they slide them tables together, they kind of alienate all the other people that are there that would like to come up and talk to them because all they see is a big group of people at a table, and it's intimidating to go up and break into a conversation like that.
Yeah, we all do it.
And like I said, it's something that you don't consciously think about.
And you have to be conscious about that too.
Because you're like, okay, I've got a big group of friends here that I know.
Yeah.
So let's slide tables together. But then you close off all the other people, and like I said, it's just something people don't consciously think about.
Wow, I didn't realize during the podcast we'd have people volunteering to work here.
We'll put that to test. We love you guys, though. We really do. Like I said, if it wasn't passion and a labor of love for us, we definitely would not be doing this every weekend.
Right.
We're still testing the waters on some things to see where this can go from here. We are trying to grow.
Changing it and making it
and
more
we're looking
exciting
at
for people.
things, and we don't want to just go nuts. So we're still trying to test the waters on some things, but we have our fair share of haters out there that bash us and say, oh,
it's about the money.
It's about the money. It's a business. Believe me, if this was about the money, we'd be done by now because I'm paying out of pocket. We're not raking the money in. We're not doing this. I mean, I would love to be able to do this full time and not have to do other things, but I have to have another job just to support what we're doing here to keep this going. So
we've actually put some of our own finances into it because the club funds didn't cover some of those expenses, and there's a lot of times where I'm off this. I forget to save all the receipts and stuff, but the money that we just let go the wayside because we've put our own money into it. So I mean, just be prepared if this is what you want to do. Passion, research, and time, and you gotta want to do all of it. And your house parties, same thing. You gotta want to do it, and you gotta really plan ahead. because that's what it takes. Successful or not, plan ahead and realize that you are going to have out-of-pocket expenses. Realize people may or may not show up.
Yeah. And right now, I feel like, oh man, we have great people come in.
We do.
And
a lot of great people.
And we are successful in that.
Yeah, we are.
But, am I making car payments out of all this?
No.
Hell no. Believe me, like I said, I have a certain number that I know is the bill for the month, and I'm hitting way down here, and that number I have to hit is way up here, and I'm way down here, and it's consistent every month that I'm here. We want to grow and we want to get a bigger place, but can't do that because I need to have everything this way, so you have that disposable income to do that.
Is the club venue a good place for a beginning
couple to watch and be watched?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
There are rooms that are specifically for that. If an open rooms where voyeurism is encouraged. So yes, it's a great place to have somebody watch you and be watched, and it's in a safe environment. So if you want that, and a club is a great venue to have that.
Well, that's why we preach to people. Going to these places, everybody has that misconception, and it's just a giant orgy as soon as you walk in the door. You need to think of it as going out to a nightclub or a dance club. The only difference is we have an adult playground. So you're basically going to a place that's like a nightclub where there's a lot of people being very social, very welcoming, and talking to you, making you feel welcome. And then you have the possibility of having a connection with that couple, single or whatever. Or if you just want to come in and you want to do your own thing and watch people or have people watch you, you can definitely do that as well. So, there's a lot of different things that you can do and experience in these places. All these lifestyle clubs and venues all have different niches. They have rooms just for females to go in. Yeah. They have group rooms where the lights are out, and they call it like the orgy room. Then they have couple pair-off rooms, just rooms for couples to sit and talk in a social area on nice couches, things like that. We have a fire room that gets used constantly, and it's just a funnel area where people go out and they have their drinks. Yeah. So it's a great place that everybody likes to go because the atmosphere out in that area is just so warm and inviting, and it's a great place to talk. So there is something for everyone at these clubs. So some of these clubs are huge. Like I said, they have buffets where you can go and have your dinner, and then you spend your evening there dancing, meeting couples, and making connections and having your fun. Some people go to them all weekend long. There's some people that go every single weekend. There's other people that can only make it once or twice a month. But there's something for everyone at these places. Right. So whatever you're into, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be able to accommodate what it is that you're looking for. But you do need to go in with an open mind, and you need to be able to go in without the expectation of something happening. Right. Because that ruins, and we've preached that night after night. Go in with an open mind and don't have expectations. You'll have more fun that way, and 9 times out of 10 when you go in with no expectations, that's when something ends up happening, and you get that golden ticket with that couple or that female or whatever, and you get that. You did. You said the whole thing. The golden ticket. Yeah. So I'm just running with the golden ticket thing. The golden ticket. Like I said, you got. Oh, my screen's going dark. But yeah, you just have to go on with an open mind, and even if you go to these places and just think of it as a nightclub, or if you went to a regular nightclub, you just have a lot more possibilities with these lifestyle places because they're set up for you to meet people, to dance, have a good time, communicate, and experience different things. So That's the best way I can, basically describe it. Does sex happen at these places? Sure, if that's what you're looking for. But again, that's completely up to you. If the chemistry's right and there's that connection, and I mean, like I said, we've said before, we've had people come in. They just enjoy the aspect of coming in and talking to different people and dancing, and that's all they do. So it just depends. So, what else do you have? Anything?
No, I think we've covered all, and like we said, this isn't. We're not, giving out this information as a bitching session. We just, we want you to seriously think if this is really what you want to do.
And we don't want to discourage anybody.
That's not our intent at all. We just want to
I
be
highly
honest
recommend
about what it's like.
if you're thinking of doing it,
and you're willing to do it. Yeah.
Do it. Try it out. Try it out at least. Do
it and devote all your time and passion into it.
And if
make
you can
it a
make
great
it
venue.
work, if you can make it work, great.
Yeah.
But at least see what's involved in it. Try it out for a weekend, and you'll know right away if it's for you or not. If you want to put that time and invest all that time, money, and effort into it. At least that way versus going somewhere else. And if you're in a state that has a lifestyle club that's huge, thank them. Go up and support them. Go get a membership. Go there frequently. Help them. That's the only way they're going to stay in business. And they've done all the hard work for you. So just go support them and pay your entry fees, pay your memberships, whatever you need to do. And if you got a little extra that you can kick in, to kind of help them, do it. Because, like I said, now you know what is all involved in that. You want them to stick around and you want them to be there for the long term, so you have a place to keep going to. That's what we want to stress the most to everybody. If you're in a state and you're lucky enough to have a place like that,
go support them.
Go support them and support them. Tell friends, tell them, go support it. That's the only way these places stay open.
Yep.
And they've done, like I said, they've already done that hard work. They fought their state and been able to do what they're doing. So thank them and support them. That's all I can really say. And if you want to hug the host, especially me, and you come in and you want to meet us, me.
Yeah, him.
I'd love to shake your hand as well. I know everybody comes to see you.
Yeah. Next time, people, make sure. I want to meet
her.
Rob.
How could you not want to go talk to me for a while? I tell you. So, definitely, like I said, the reason we do these podcasts has nothing to do with the our place or any of that other stuff. That's not what we ever decided to start doing.
When we first
the
started doing
podcast.
it was information only. Had nothing to do with our place. So, I mean, maybe some of the topics that we'll have in the future may not be so happy, sunny.
We try to cover, good things. We try to cover the bad things as well. I'm the more positive. I'm like, we should talk about this great part. Yeah. And then Sarah's like, we should really talk about this. And I'm like, nobody's going to like that topic because it's bad. We had a couple... I'll go ahead and say it. We had a couple that we interviewed on the show, and brand new lifestyle couple. You can go back and watch that podcast. They were trying to grow on the lifestyle, and things just weren't working for them in that aspect. So they're going to take a break from the lifestyle for a while. We wish them well. We wish them well, and
people do hop in and out.
Yeah, and we understand the lifestyle is not for everybody. You try it, it may be your thing, and it may not. So. To them, who you are. We hope you guys find happiness, and if you decide to revisit later, definitely try it again. But they were also talking about trying to start a family and some other things. So
and that's the other thing that I'll let you know. Sometimes life gets in the way, and you do have to take a step back, and it's okay. Places like us will always be around. We hope. We hope. Yeah. If you decide to jump back in, that's cool.
Yeah. So other than that, I don't, like I said, she wants to do some of the the hard hitting topics,
and we
need to do those.
We will probably do those farther on down the line.
Yeah, so next week I already got the topic picked out, and you're not going to veto me because I'm going to say it right now.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm not going to tell you what it is. You'll have to tune in. But it'll be a good topic. So, we do want to talk about sexual aspects of things because, everything that we talk about has to do with swinging, the lifestyle, and things like that. So, our next one, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about some swinging things. So, I already have my idea in mind of what we're going to talk about.
Is this the one you already brought up to me?
Yeah. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that one. And we're going to get some riveting opinions from...
Next one is, guys, we really need you to be participating in that one.
We really need you to turn in, especially the ladies.
Yeah. Go ahead, ladies.
We want the guys.
This show will be for you.
Yeah, we want the guys to tune in as well, but we want the ladies' feedback, and it'll be a good topic. Like I said, it'll be a good discussion as well. So, other than that, that's really all we have.
For this evening.
We want to thank everybody for tuning in and
sponsors.
Let's go ahead and do our sponsor. We are sponsored by Adam and Eve here in Omaha, Nebraska. Again, if you want to use the promo code and go check them out, give us a call or email us and we'll give you that promo code. We are also sponsored by Pleasure Concepts, and they're doing a lot of sex toys and they do the sex swings. We didn't get to feature anything tonight.
Well, thank God, because everyone keeps talking about demo.
I'm not demoing any more toys. I'm retired from that. That's all you.
Okay.
But yeah, so other than that, that's all we have. We will see you guys on the next episode. And like I said, thank you guys all for tuning in. Thank you for
all the support you guys give us.
Yeah, thank you guys for subscribing to the podcast. Thanks for telling other people about the podcast. Thanks for getting them to subscribe. And definitely thank you for supporting our place. We really appreciate all the support you are giving us. So with that, we will see you on the next episode. Good night, guys.
Have a good night.